Hello, everybody. I'm gonna wait on folks to get in here. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hello. Let's see. I like that light a little bit better. It's a nice reading light. Mm-mm. Hello, hello. I'm gonna wait on some folks to get in here. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Hello, hello. Ooh, I see there are two people here. Hello. Hello, hello. For those of you that are joining, if you could go ahead and hit that share button, the post should be public. So if you can just go ahead and hit that share button so that the like and share button, so that we can get this going and get this out to as many people as possible today. Hello, hello. Got some tea, keep my throat covered. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to give it just a few more minutes, or I'll give it a couple minutes before I let some before I start reading. My tea bag says, "Your strength is your own knowledge." I don't know if you can see it. Your strength is your own knowledge. Some good stuff, right? Hello, hello, happy people. If you're just now joining, go ahead and like, comment, share. Let me know you're here. I appreciate anybody that's watching today. I will start reading. Um, hmm, it's 6:05. 6:05, I'll start reading. I'm reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now. Amplify your life and achieve prosperity today. Um, Lisa Nichols is a motivational speaker. I really, really like her a lot. Um, this is going to be exciting. Oh, 6 people. Oh my God. I can't believe y'all are in here watching me. For those of you that are just now joining, hey, friend. Hey, friend. For those of you that are joining, if you could like, share, comment, you know, go ahead and share this. We're going to be reading on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. We're going to be reading on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 6 p.m. So I'm using my laptop right now. I'm not thrilled about the quality of it, but um, it's a little more easy to use right now than my phone. So we're going to do this. In about 1 minute, about 30 seconds, going to start reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. Also, waiting on a shirt, but this bracelet right here, if you want to order this bracelet, check out Made with Melanin Co. MADEWITHMELANINCO on Instagram. And if you use the promo code MissTaylorSaid, you can get 30% off of their website. So this bracelet right here, along with some other pretty cool items. I like this one a lot. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, thank you. Hey, y'all, check out Anash the Dragon on Spotify. I was listening to her affirmations this morning. Got me some good energy going this morning. So, hey, girl. Y'all check out Inaj the Dragon on Spotify. It's spelled Einaj the Dragon on Spotify. All right, cool. So it is 6:05, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. Again, we are reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now, Amplify Your Life and Achieve Prosperity Today. Um, I, just to begin, I am Miss Taylor said, my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Miss Taylor said. I am interested in pursuing a career in public speaking and all of that, and using my voice and using my words, and being out there, having platforms where I can talk to people, because really what I want to do is help people be themselves. Um, and that is a really short way of putting this, but one thing that I want to strengthen, one skill I want to strengthen is being able to read aloud and being more comfortable talking out loud for an audience rather than just conversating with friends. So, or conversing with friends. Either one is right. Who gonna check me? Okay. Sorry, I'm by myself. This is weird. So, one thing I want to do, another thing I want to do is read more books. I have a tendency to start books, but I don't finish them. And I think a lot of us that were primarily book readers before the digital stuff happened, that was kind of our thing, was reading books, and then everything got digital, and so it can be a little harder to finish books. So I want to commit to myself to complete books that I start and practice talking in front of people and reading aloud. So why not do all of it at one time by reading books on Facebook Live? So um, again, we are reading Lisa Nichols' Abundance Now. It has a foreword by Steve Harvey, and this is Lisa Nichols and Janet Switzer. I'm going to take the cover off just to make it a little easier for myself. Um, and then I can do this number right here. Boom. Abundance Now. So, I typically skip over all the beginning things in books. Um, this is the dedication. So I'll just go ahead and read it all. I dedicate this book to my son Jelani. You've ridden this every eventful roller coaster with me. You have selflessly shared me as I pursued my outrageous dream of infecting the planet with possibility. You've loved me despite the endless long trips, the 19-hour workdays, and hundreds of thousands of people who've moved in and out of our lives. You are one of the kindest people I've ever been blessed to know. I promised you at 8 months old that I would make our lives better. Thank you for always believing in me and my promise to you. I'm honored to call you my son and grateful to call you my friend. So that's to Lisa's son, Jelani. Julie, so you make me want to laugh. Skip over. Okay. So the foreword, again, is by Steve Harvey. Why do people resist transformation? That was a question I asked Lisa Nichols when she was a guest on my television show. I've been wondering how I might get my message through to people so they could benefit from it. Several months earlier, I had asked Lisa to coach me on building a self development division of my program, of my company. Words, they're in a book. Having used strategies for personal success to build my career in radio, comedy, and television, I wanted to help my audience and radio listeners with information that could change their lives too. Over the past year and a half, Lisa has helped me do just that. When I listen to Lisa, I am just in awe of her wisdom. When she lays out the system for achieving a rich and abundant life, I see the audience creep to the edge of their seats. When she explains how you should answer your unique calling and then gives you a step by step process to implement it, I see people take massive notes. And when she inspires them to know that it's possible, things get explosive. Man, her words just make so much sense. And then when Lisa tells her own story of filling out paperwork at the government assistance office, I think lots of us have something similar that threatens to stop us. It might not be food stamps or public assistance for you, but it could be a crazy childhood or lack of knowledge or direction or one bad situation that threatens to take you out of the game for good. You realize that you've got to do something to step out of lifelessness and step into greatness. In my own life, I can pinpoint this realization to its exact date, October 8th, 1985. I was 27 years old and selling life insurance door to door. I was very good at making the sale, but I stunk at the follow up. I didn't really like the product I was selling, and once it came in, I was embarrassed to deliver it to the buyer. But I had a young family, I had responsibilities at home. I was also not in a good place personally. I wasn't happy because I hadn't discovered my purpose or mission in life. I was sad all the time, primarily because I knew my life had to be more than this. I never felt fulfilled. I was always incomplete. Every day, I felt like I was trying to figure things out. Whew. I'm just going to stop right there for a moment because I feel like we all have had that moment and had that feeling before. Then one day, I heard something that shook me to my core. At the time, I happened to be writing jokes for a comedian friend of mine named AJ Jamal. I had no idea that he was what he was doing with the jokes, but over and over he would ask me to write more. Eventually, he started paying me $10 per joke. Now, keep in mind, I had no idea what he was doing with these jokes until one day he told me he was performing at a private comedy club using the jokes I had written. Up until that point, I wasn't a professional comedian. I'd never been on stage as a stand up comic or worked in a comedy club. I didn't even know they existed. But since AJ appreciated the fact that I was his writer, the side gig of writing jokes went on for another year and a half. Then it just so happened that I was at AJ's house and this woman came over named Gladys Jacobs. When she learned who I was, she said, "Oh, you're the guy that's been writing the jokes for AJ." Frankly, I was surprised she knew who I was. My chest puffed out a little bit, and I was feeling pretty good about myself until she asked me the question that shook me to my core. "Why don't you tell these jokes yourself?" she said. I was frozen for a moment until the emotions began to run to, I was frozen for a moment until the emotions began to rush in on me. I was excited, but I was also confused. Tell the jokes where? I thought. Tell them to who? Why would anybody want to hear my jokes? It was my I don't know what I don't know moment. You might have had one of these yourself in your own life. For instance, have you ever discovered that even though you don't think much of what you're doing, it's incredibly impactful to somebody else? The fact that my jokes were valuable and stage worthy and that I should be delivering them on stage myself was a message that I didn't even know I needed. It was Gladys, it was like Gladys poured water on a dry seed, and that seed started to grow like crazy. Maybe you too have had someone see something in you that you've never seen in yourself. Maybe you too have had someone try to show you your possibility, but you've got blinders on. How many of us, when faced with our big break, our ticket to the abundant life, react the same way? Just like I asked Lisa Nichols recently on my show, why do some people resist transformation? Maybe you know deep down what you want, but you're waiting for confirmation. Maybe you do have an inkling of what's ahead of you, and you're waiting for someone to validate you, help you claim your greatness, and give you permission to soar. That's what Lisa Nichols will do for you in this powerful book. Now you've got to know, excuse me, let me read this like Steve would. Now you got to know that my girl is candid, very transparent, and going to get in your face a little bit. That's the way she rolls and shows us that she cares. The thing is, you have abundance waiting inside of you right now. You have the seed of greatness waiting for a little bit of water to rain down on you. All you need is a guiding hand, like Lisa's, to help you navigate through your start. Don't resist the transformation that's on deck for your life. Don't limit yourself in any way. You can have the riches. You can have the lifestyle. You can have the community. You can have the love relationship. You can have abundance. You can have everything you want now. Steve Harvey. Introduction. It starts with a quote. Living a life that you love and loving the life that you are living is the truest demonstration of abundance. A quote by Lisa Nichols. There hasn't been a day in the last 3 years that I haven't gasped a little or felt a tingle in my belly as I walk into the lobby of my corporate offices in Carlsbad, California. Today is a special day. I'm here in town briefly between speaking engagements and media appearances to sign my name on some documents that are the culmination of a 17-year dream. As I step just inside the front entrance, I pause, still feeling a bit amazed by all that's happened over the last 2 decades. Our reception area, thankfully, is a restful, introspective place, graced with the soothing sound of a flowing fountain, the aroma of lavender candles, and the smooth melody of cool jazz playing low in the background. It's designed in the same color scheme as my living room at home: warm oranges, healing yellows, soft gold, and winter creams. All colors that I studied for their restorative properties and connecting feeling. I feel comfortable here and blessed, especially when I pause and reflect on the monumental canvas before me. A gift from my staff a gift from my staff of a soulful reflective picture of me praying after spending praying after spending 8 hours in Nelson Mandela's jail cell. My life has been a journey. Yet I wonder what else is before me. As I slowly make my way to my office, reflecting on the abundance that I've received so far, there on my desk awaiting me are the documents I've come to the office to sign. A stack of stock certificates imprinted at the top, motivating the masses ink, they say. I've taken my company public. At the same time, I've also become the one of only two African American women founders to take her own company public. A part of me feels it's all a bit like Monopoly. There are thousands, millions of shares that I'm signing my name to as CEO. But another part of me knows intimately the road I've traveled, and it's been one filled with both huge wins and considerable losses. This is very real, I think to myself. It's time to get back to work. From public assistance to going public. What does it take to overcome decades of confusion, pain, betrayal, and hardship and step into charity, passion, perseverance, and accomplishment? Compared to my early years, my life today is barely recognizable. It includes sitting beside Oprah, laughing and talking with her during the commercial breaks, then within weeks, sitting across from Larry King, watching his eyebrows lift at something I've said that I believe truly inspires him as a man and not just a host. It includes holding Steve Harvey's hands as we pray together backstage before stepping out onto the platform at Essence Festival before more than 7,000 hungry, excited people, or getting that second phone call in a month to appear on the Today Show with their breakthrough coach, excuse me. It's gratifying to experience the rock star receptions and enormous love that I receive when I speak in Taipei, Bali, Thailand, Johannesburg, and mm, mm, Kaza, Kazakhstan. Okay, I'm blown away that these audiences even know who I am or have even studied my work, since many don't even speak English. Each one of these experiences still feels new to me, even though I've been on this track since 2007 when the video and book The Secret, in which I was a featured teacher, became a worldwide phenomenon. More dominant in my memory, regrettably, is the day in 1994 when I found myself standing in line at the government assistance office on Century Boulevard in Los Angeles, feeling humiliated and shamed as I filled out the application to get food stamps for me and my unborn baby. In the dark years to follow, I found myself broke and broken, standing in the WIC, women, infants, and children line, embarrassed but grateful for the free cheese, milk, and pasta that allowed me to feed my young son, Jelani. I didn't have enough money in those days to make it through to the next week, so a pot of spaghetti or beanie weenies divided into 6 meals had to last Jelani and me all week. My brokenness only intensified when my son's father, for whom I had a special love, phoned one day in August and said, "Lisa, I'm in jail." Jelani was just 8 months old. Soon my bad went to worse as year after year I hoped he would be released from prison to at least father the son we had created. Even after I had given up on any chance of us being a couple again, 3, 5, 10 years went by with no sign of parole. I secretly hoped, but publicly denounced any affiliation with him as 10, 15, 20 years went by and counting. Though I am finally at peace, my son is now dealing with the emotions surrounding a father who's in prison. In those dark days, abundance and prosperity seemed very far away, but I discovered a resilience and a perspective that carried me through. By 2009, I had been interviewed more than 150 times in just a 5 month period when my book, No Matter What, was released in stores. That book is a surprisingly transparent story of my personal journey, which led to most of the interviewers to ask, Lisa, how did you do it? How did you go from being on government assistance to building a multi-million-dollar business? For the sake of time, I often answered in a speedy way, trivializing the journey in 2 to 4 minute sound bites. Well, it's focus. I would answer generically, or it comes from being passionate about my life. Frankly, the rich and rewarding life I now enjoy and the story of how it came to be got somewhat lost in the book's emphasis on overcoming the obstacles in my past. And after the book tour was over, I knew inside that I had never really, really shared what it took to transform my life into something breathtaking, to transform my life into something breathtaking, prosperous, and compelling. I simply hadn't recounted the process, shared the wisdom I had learned, or inspired the actions of others to. Hmm, let me read that again. I simply hadn't recounted the process, shared the wisdom I had learned, or inspired the actions of others to easily achieve prosperity by following the same formula that I did. What I have yet to share is the story of how I broke through from scarcity to abundance. And that is where this book begins. I'm just going to take a sip of water real quick. I appreciate y'all still hanging out with me. See that there's 5 of us here. I'm one of them on my phone. um, I thank you guys for hanging out. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and share this video, like it, and all that. I appreciate it, and we're gonna keep going. For those that may be joining us now, we are reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. Mindset, application, and intention is the secret code. Abundance is not a myth, nor is it mystical. There isn't some undisclosed 007 style secret code to success that's keeping you from world class achievement. Too many people have bought into the notion that achieving prosperity is difficult, time consuming, or limited to special people. But true abundance and a rich, rewarding lifestyle are simpler than you think. In this book, I like to share what I've discovered about abundance and reveal what I did, including the specific nuts and bolts of my journey. I like to give you the mindset, the application, and the intention, and share my journey unlike ever before, detailing what it took to rise above my own chaos and go from broke and broken to a place of prosperity and possibility that far exceeds anything I could have ever imagined. What lessons did I learn? What practices did I have to master? What habits, behaviors, and beliefs did I have to develop in order to start living abundantly and prospering wildly? You will discover those in this book. Chapter by chapter, the journey begins. In chapter 1, Getting Ready for Transformation, Defining Abundance and Scarcity, you'll discover the new definition of abundance and a new way of looking at your future. Through a short course on personalized prosperity, you'll look beyond what society, the media, your friends, and well meaning family say prosperity is and begin to define it for yourself. Perhaps for the first time ever. From rich and rewarding experiences, impressive financial assets, the joy of service, and the gratification of up leveling your relationships, you will begin to sense that you can create your own vision of the future and be happy. With this forward-thinking new posture, you'll be primed to make plans for a break. Words. You'll be primed to make plans for a breathtaking new future, getting crystal clear about what you truly want in every area of your life. abundant financial assets, a brilliant career, engaging friendships, powerful connections, compelling philanthropy, compelling philanthropy, vibrant health, rich traditions, exciting pursuits, plus so much more. You'll learn, as I have, to become non negotiable about these these new goals, while staying flexible about how you get there. You'll even learn to eliminate the toxic characteristics, procrastination, blame game, and victim mindset. Any behavior that you've lived with and tolerated up to until now, evicting those on behalf of your future. With this orientation in place, the next four chapters of the book will equip you with the process of creating abundance and show you how what I call the four E's are the key to making all the areas in your life: self, relationships, work, and money work in concert to produce true prosperity. The four E's start with enrichment of your whole self, where we'll go to work enriching you with the skills and the mindset required to move from scarcity to abundance. In fact, abundance is your birthright, and together we'll work on thinking bigger, uplifting your expectations, producing better outcomes, and expanding your vision of what's possible. But don't worry if you feel you're not smart enough, connected enough, or enough in any other way. I never achieved any grade higher than a C plus in school and actually failed English in college. In the only public speaking class I ever took, I got a D minus, and that was probably a gift from my teacher. Advanced education required? No way. This only highlights the possibilities for you. The second of the E's is enchantment, the feeling of delight and magic you get from your relationships. I want you to become intentional about the quality of your relationships, not just the current ones, but the new ones you want to form. I want you to become deliberate about the caliber of people you spend time with, learning how to seek out those people who inspire you to do better, create more, play bigger, and win more often, especially in your family relationships and romantic relationships. The third of the four E's is the engagement you get from your work. And in this chapter, we'll discover a unique approach to your right livelihood, treating your current job or career as a major investor in your future life. I'm going to read that again because I didn't like the way I read the inflection. I had the inflection. The third of the four E's is the engagement you get from your work. And in this chapter, you'll discover a unique approach to your right livelihood, treating your current job or career as a major investor in your future life. It's not difficult to move into a career you love, whether it's working for someone else or enjoying the freedom of owning your own business. I've done both. Finally, the fourth of the four E's is taking an endowment approach when it comes to your money. In this chapter, we'll roll up our sleeves and start building your financial wealth. But first, there's some work to do, eliminating those old money mantras you learned when you were younger. These are incompatible with the prosperous new path you've embarked on, and it's time you create a new relationship with money. By the time we reach chapter 6, activating future abundance in the present moment, you'll be ready to begin living abundantly now, enjoying the new prosperity mindset and breathtaking riches you've acquired over the last four chapters. Life is not short, and you have time to build substantial financial wealth while enjoying a prosperous attitude and the joy of amassing non monetary riches. If only I had had in my early years the skills, techniques, mindsets, and beliefs I want to share with you now, my journey would have been very different. I plan to share candidly my unexpected breakdowns and my ultimate breakthroughs. One story, in fact, stands out in my mind. This was a tough lesson for me. It was even tougher on my dad, but it only served to galvanize my desire to be financially free. As a teenage girl growing up in a tough South Central Los Angeles neighborhood, I started running track when my dad decided it would keep me busy during the high risk hours between 3 and 6, when gangs roamed the streets and girls got pregnant. For 9 years, I enjoyed a successful career. I broke high school records in the 330, low hurdles, and was a top city champion. And my team repeatedly won the state championship. I felt I'd accomplished everything with my sport that I wanted to. I was complete. But inevitably, colleges came courting with promises of tuition discounts, something my parents could not afford to ignore. Baby, if you run, my father said, they'll give me a break on the bill. Caving to pressure, I agreed to run track for an out of state university for 2 years. In the first year, our team was undefeated, following 2 dry years where they hadn't won a single meet. I ran 6 events every Saturday, virtually nonstop. I was tired, burned out, finishing my first year of college with with multiple injuries. In my second year there, I was committed not to run. I was suffering from shin splints, injured tendons, a strained hamstring, and an agitated ankle. I knew that if I continued on this path, my body would be completely broken down by graduation. To add to my injuries, I had lost all enthusiasm for track and field. I wanted to do something more productive with my time after school. I was no longer willing to destroy my body for competition and rankings. After missing the first week of preseason, I found myself in the athletic director's office tallying up the back tuition I owed and the current year's tuition that had yet to be paid. $10,500, he said. It might as well have been 10 million. When I offered to work off the tuition, do anything but run track, he laughed and said I'd never earn enough money to pay the bill in full. When he slid a paper in front of me to sign, confirming that I had reneged on my agreement, I felt used. Sadly, what happened next is forever etched in my mind. To make certain I left campus, they changed the locks of my dorm room. Dang. The cafeteria canceled my meal plan, and my instructors forbade me from attending class. With just $152 in my bank account plus $8 in cash my friends had put together for me, I flew home to Los Angeles, spending 150 of my precious reserve for the one-way airline ticket. With tears in my eyes, I begged a taxi driver to drive me home and accept the only $10 I had left in the world. I've been kicked out of school, I said, numb to whatever happened next. Keep it, he replied, driving me 15 miles to my house for free. Arriving home, I sat on the porch for 8 hours until my landlord got home and let me in. I could not reach my dad, as this was long before the days of cell phones and he was away on business. When he returned home 3 days later, he was shocked to see me. While he called the school, I kept studying. I actually believed all would be resolved and I'd return to take my midterms. But as my dad asked the athletic director, isn't there anything you could do? I could hear the defeat in his voice. I wasn't going back to school. With my brother in a vocational school and those expenses piling up, we just couldn't afford it. In that moment, I made a decision. I promised myself that if I ever had a child, I would have the money to send him to college. I never went back to school. I never graduated from college. But that experience created an even greater fire in me to succeed in becoming financially free. If you've had experiences that left you desperate and broken, I want this book to become a bridge from that life to a breathtaking new future. Whew, whew, relatable. Shout out the unspoken desires of your heart. It's the next section of the introduction. Y'all doing all right? I have not even looked at any comments. Are there comments? There are comments. Oh my God. Yes, yes. Right, right. A word. A whole bunch of words. Shout out the unspoken desires of your heart. Whether it's moving yourself out of a place of discomfort, emotionally, physically, or financially, or simply stepping into the abundant and prosperous life you know deep down you deserve, abundance now will be your launch pad. The same will be true if you are using this book as your springboard into new possibilities, new results, and new outcomes. Whether it is to increase your income, improve your lifestyle, drive your business to the roof, or attract healthier relationships that fuel you, this book is where you start. It will show you how to bring life to the unspoken desires of your heart, the unvoiced thoughts of your mind, using clear, practical steps for turning these thoughts and desires into a new reality. You'll find that with powerful intention, mindset management, and clear, accountable, actionable steps, you'll experience accelerated growth and become wildly successful. and you'll discover that it's so much easier than you ever imagined. Abundance Now provides you with the fundamental techniques, ideas, and those necessary action steps to drastically transform your life into something unimaginable. Come experience my journey and jumpstart your own. And the introduction ends with this quote that says, "It's time to start living the life you imagined," by Henry James, American novelist and playwright. Y'all doing all right? Y'all like the book so far? I'm excited. I'm excited about what the book is going to say. I forgot how relatable Lisa Nichols' experience was to my own, especially the part where she talked about not finishing college, because that is definitely my experience. I went to college and I didn't finish. I even went back this year. And I didn't really talk about it on Facebook, but I got accepted back into the school I was going to when I was in college, and I was there for a week, but I was still having issues with financial aid from the last time that I was in school. And I wasn't able to get it all together before classes, before the cutoff date. And so I went to school for a week, and then I wasn't in school. And it was a very stressful week, as you can imagine, because anything dealing with financial aid is stressful as heck. Um, and it made me sad because, of course, this is, August of this year and COVID and everything. And it was just so sad to be for me, it was sad to like be on campus briefly, and just that energy and that feeling was just gone. But I mean, for everyone's safety, obviously it, it will never be the same as it was before. But it's exciting to read a book from somebody that has an experience similar to my own, and makes will make this seem attainable and feel attainable. I'm going to finish at 7. So let's see how long this chapter is, because I really don't want to get into the first chapter without finishing it. Do y'all want to discuss, or y'all want a chapter? Because we could do whatever y'all want. We could do whatever you like. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So that first chapter is 50 pages. I don't think I'm gonna get through 50 pages in 20 minutes. But I can do it's broken down into sections, so I can do a few sections and then we can pick up. Yeah, let's do some sections. And then we'll end at 7. Cool. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out. The few of you that are here still. Oh shoot, it went back up to 5. Hey y'all. Chapter 1, and for those that are just joining, we are reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. And just so y'all know, again, if you didn't already know, I am going to be reading books from on Monday through Wednesday. Excuse me, Monday through Thursday. I'm going to be reading books Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'll, hmm, we can figure it out. We can figure it out how we want to do this. If we want to just do one book until it's done and then start another book, or do one type of book for 2 days of the 4 and a different type of book for the other days of the 4 to kind of switch it up. I don't know, but we're going to keep going with this one. And yep, we got about 20 minutes left. So, chapter 1, getting ready for transformation, defining abundance and scarcity. Starts with a quote. Abundance is not something available for sale or purchase. It's something that we tap into, build, and grow. Lisa Nichols. One of the most enduring myths of our culture today is that scarcity and deprivation early in life somehow ensures we'll experience struggle and hardship later. Because of mysterious and unkind forces outside of our control, the economy, corporate greed, the job market, systemic racism, living a life of abundance seems beyond our reach, while scarcity seems to be readily available to everyone. In fact, sometimes it's even glamorized as the way real people live. Of course, the truth is that no matter where you started out in life, you have a choice between scarcity and abundance. You have a choice between simply managing the struggle or living a rich, rewarding life filled with unique experiences, exciting career options, nurturing relationships, and the comfort and ease that come with financial success. Even better, this life of abundance is something you get to define for yourself. Isn't that nice? Defining what abundance means to you. Unfortunately, many people today, at times even me and perhaps you too, let others define the trappings of a rich lifestyle. We see prosperous characters on television and think we know what prosperity is. We assume we have an accurate picture of the activities and luxuries that rich people enjoy. We listen to what our friends say, then strive to acquire those possessions they think are necessary. We see reality TV shows flaunting expensive cars, monstrous homes, and megawatt jewelry, and then, excuse me, then call it wealth. But we never stop to think about what we ourselves ultimately want from life. What do abundance, prosperity, riches, and wealth mean to you? Throughout this book, I'll be challenging you to define the ideal life for yourself, to go beyond what others think abundance means, and choose not only the lifestyle, relationships, career, philanthropic activities, and other hallmarks of your abundant life, but also the attitudes, behaviors, and habits you will live by every day. The new definition of abundance is yours. Several months ago, a friend and I were reflecting on the many ways that people define abundance, and whether you use the word abundance or interchange it with prosperity, riches, or wealth, as I do throughout this book. The best definition of abundance I've seen so far is this one: privileged circumstances. I don't know if y'all want to write that down, but her definition of abundance is privileged circumstances. Also, if there's something y'all want me to repeat, please let me know. Just toss it in the comments. If there's a keyword or something that you want me to repeat, let me know. When you're living a life of privileged circumstances, you get to play a bigger game, connect with people who are making things happen, encounter more opportunities for advancement, and along the way, take pleasure in a lifestyle that would be admired by many. It means that you have the freedom to pursue those things you want to do, be, and have, including what your occupation will be, whom you'll share relationships with, the activities you'll enjoy, the possessions you'll own, and the ways in which you contribute to others and give back to society through philanthropic endeavors. In the pursuit of these privileged circumstances, not only will your life become something that is compelling to you, but it will also serve as an inspiration to others. When I was 25 years old, my definition of abundance was transformed abruptly, and the new mindset that came along with it literally gave me a new direction in life. Suddenly, I began to run toward my passion. My life was on fire. I felt an urgency to make sure my life would be amazing. At the time, I was working at a computer software company doing customer service and training. It was just a job that paid the bills. It wasn't my future. Frankly, I didn't know what my future was. But I picked up a copy of Stephen Covey's classic success book, The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People, which had been recommended to me months earlier by a woman whom I admired immensely for her positive attitude and constant joy and the clarity she seemed to have in her life. Hoping that I could have the same, I began to read and came across Covey's advice to begin with the end in mind. He said, picture yourself at your own funeral 3 years from now. Then listen as four speakers, a family member, a friend, a business acquaintance, and a community volunteer, describe your character and the difference you made in their lives. What would they say about me? I wondered. What would I want them to say about me? In that moment, I realized that my eulogy would not have been very compelling. I was kind, but I hadn't made a difference. I was motivated, but I lacked direction. I had never before decided upon the person I wanted to be, nor the accomplishments I wanted to achieve. One thing I did know, however, was that I wanted my eulogy to be powerful. I wanted to have lived a full out. I wanted to have lived full out when my time came to go. Although I didn't know the exact path I would pursue, I made a start the only way I knew how. At 25, I stopped taking just jobs and instead pursued a position that elevated me and amplified my game. I began to travel for my employer, wore suits to work, mastered using a laptop and the latest technology, and focused all my energy on helping people. I volunteered for projects and assignments that no one else wanted to bother with. By the time the company decided to relocate to Spokane, is it Spokane or Spokane? I think it's Spokane, Washington. Not only was I doing the job of three or four people effortlessly, I was the only employee retained in a massive layoff as part of the move. What would your eulogy say about you? If y'all want to ponder on that, write that down. What would your eulogy say about you? If you were to die 3 years from now and four people were to give a eulogy, a friend, a family member, a business acquaintance, and a community volunteer, what would they say about you? Does your cup runneth over? It's the next section. When I work with clients and students to create their abundant life, I start by asking them to examine their spiritual life, relationships, finances, and health. What we're looking for is whether they feel fulfilled in those areas. In just a moment, I'll ask you to examine these areas closely. But for now, think about whether you have reached a level of satisfaction in each area. Are you feeling connected in your spiritual walk, enjoying blissful relationships, satisfied with your finances, and experiencing vibrant good health? Do you feel whole and complete? Are you living your purpose or your current life assignment at this stage of life? Do you feel valued for your contribution, whether you're a stay at home parent or running a multi-million dollar corporation or somewhere in between? Or do you constantly feel lack and frustration with your progress? What I've discovered about abundance is that it's a mindset more than your actual circumstances. And this mindset doesn't require lots of money. Perfect example of this mindset was my grandma Bernice, rest her soul, one of my first role models. Grandma Bernice was my dad's mother, and more than anyone I knew, Grandma Bernice seemed to have the most fulfilling life. She was a stately lady of small stature. We used to say she was 98 pounds soaking wet with weights in her pockets. But while she was tiny, she had a soft but stern voice and a heavy hand. And while the hand never tapped us when she tapped the coffee table, well, we knew to be quiet. As a former nurse, Grandma doubled up and was an overflow of love, admiration, and servanthood. She gave abundantly of her time and knowledge to family and community. She could make a pot of beans go in 50 different directions. She would feed her children, her grandchildren, and the neighbors. It was like that pot was never ending because she just lived in abundance. In her presence, I never felt scarcity. Never heard her say the phrase, not enough. For example, she had this fireplace at her house that we rarely used. But later I found out when the electricity was cut off, Grandma would build a fire and cook dinner in a cast iron skillet over the open flame, never once complaining about lack. At her funeral, I sat enraptured, listening to friend after friend who revealed how Grandma Bernice hadn't just crossed a friend's path, she had changed the trajectory of that person's life. At 25 years old, I decided I wanted to be like her when I grew up. I wanted my funeral to be like hers. And yet, Grandma Bernice didn't have a lot of money. She never started a company and she didn't have a lot of possessions. She simply lived in the overflow of spiritual wealth, rich relationships, and vibrant good health, with enough money to meet the basic needs of her family of 7 children with a small amount left over to share. She was the most abundant woman I've ever known, and she taught me that abundance doesn't require becoming an entrepreneur or filling your bank account. It comes from living in the present and enjoying your now. Grandma Bernice had more than enough to be happy. But just as important, she defined abundance on her own terms. She didn't let someone else measure her level of success. What about you? Do you have more than enough to be happy in your spiritual life, your relationships, your finances, and your health? Does the person you show up to be in the world, both for yourself and others, play full out? Is your self awareness and self esteem, but also your humility? Ooh, okay, let me read that one more time. Is your self awareness and self esteem, but also your humility? Amen. Full. Have you defined what prosperity means to you instead of adopting someone else's version of abundance? To me, abundance is simple. It's having enough, being fulfilled, and feeling as though my cup is running over. Let me read that again. To me, abundance is simple. It's having enough, being fulfilled, and feeling as though my cup is running over. What does abundance look like to you? Actually, I'm going to stop right there. That was a word. That was a word tonight, ladies and gents, and those who are here. That was a word. What does abundance look like to you? So I got a few minutes left. I got about 8 minutes left. What does abundance look like to you? I'm looking for something. Put this right here for right now. For those that are still watching, for those that are still tuned in, let me do that so I can know how many people are actually tuned in. For those that are still tuned in, what are your thoughts? Like I said, I'm going till 7 o'clock. So, do you guys have any thoughts? Have any ideas y'all want to share? Have um, anything that any comments y'all want to make on the book? Right now, I'm excited. I'm excited about what's coming next. I'm excited about how she's going to apply these different ideas that she's already prepared us for, and how she's going to expand on those ideas. Oh, yeah. I really like the story about her grandma Bernice, because it puts things into perspective, because we do have a tendency to associate abundance, prosperity, and those things to simply financial gain, financial wealth, and class, and things that deal with class. We associate success, abundance, prosperity, and all those things as things that come with being of a higher class in our class system, when really abundance is what you define abundance to be, is having an, like she said, I mean, and it's different for everyone else. I really do want to reflect on what abundance means for me. It's pretty similar to what Lisa said, having enough. Let's read that again. Having enough, being fulfilled, and feeling as though my cup is running over. I don't know if she's going to get into the cup metaphor in here, but I know one thing. If you've ever watched Lisa Nichols, I do not enjoy that I have this little thing going. If you've ever watched Lisa Nichols, she talks a lot about having the cup, and how your self-love, and the things that you do for yourself, you're supposed to fill your cup, and fill your cup with the things that make you feel fulfilled. And then and self-love and affirmations, and just those things that make you feel excellent about yourself, and make and help you know that that you're you, that you're the youest you that you could be, and if we're using the cup and the saucer, we're going to pretend my hand is a saucer. You're supposed to fill your cup up, and then any overflow that you have, that's what you can offer to people. Any of that overflow, That's what you can offer people, and that's what you can love from. But what the contents of the cup, those are yours. Those belong to you. That belongs to you. And you can't love other people. I mean, you can, but it's going to be a half full effort if you're not full yourself, if you don't do the things you need to do to be full. So, and then love from your overflow. So, I'm hoping that she is going to get into that metaphor more. I hope that I'm excited. I'm just excited about where this book is going to go. Tomorrow I may or I'm not sure. I'm going to try different things. Going to try using different devices to see what the quality of the video is like, because this is my webcam off of my laptop, which is an old laptop, so the quality isn't great. It's not HD. It's not like it would be on my phone. But I also don't want to set up my phone. So we'll see how this goes. Are there any comments? Anybody want to say anything? Anybody have any ideas before I close out? No, no, no. Well, I'm gonna put the cover back on the book. I appreciate those of you who came in, listened. I hope that if you don't have the book, obviously I'm gonna suggest that you order it. Um, or you can just listen with us and listen to me read it and stumble on through these words. We're reading Abundance Now by Lisa Nichols. And I'm going to be doing this Monday through Thursday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Right now, we're just going to do Facebook Live. If I can get a little fancier and do multiple platforms, I will. But as of right now, it's just going to be Facebook Live. Um, yeah. Oh, also, bracelet. Got this bracelet from Made with Melanin Co. on on um on Instagram. Let me see if I can pull them up. It is Made with Melanin Co. on Instagram. That is who this is. Use the promo code Miss Taylor Said for 30% off. Use the promo code Miss Taylor Said for 30% off on Made with Melanin Co. And let's see what the website is. The website is madewithmelanin.co. The website is madewithmelanin, spelled out as it sounds, .co. So check them out. Use promo code Miss Taylor Said to get 30% off. And thank you guys for tuning in. I still got about 2 more minutes. But I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up. And if there's nothing else, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I will see you guys tomorrow at 6. See you guys tomorrow at 6. Thanks for listening to me read. Thanks for helping me out with my goal. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook. I think I have a YouTube. Yeah. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. Miss Taylor Said, MissTaylorSaid. Miss Taylor Said is my handle on everything. Thank you guys so much for listening and hanging out with me. I hope y'all have an excellent night. Go get you guys some dinner. If you guys were cooking dinner while you were listening, then go eat your food and have yourselves a lovely Monday night. See y'all tomorrow.